Hello, fellow Good Omens fans, and welcome to ranking every Good Omens character. I thought it might be fun, a little change of pace. If you're a regular viewer, you're probably not used to seeing my face, you're just used to hearing my voice. But I thought this would be a lot of fun. I've been thinking about doing a ranking video for quite a while, and just putting some images together for this ranking video, I realized how many Good Omens characters there are, considering there's just the one book and the 2 seasons of television, 12 episodes. So this is going to just be season 1, and next time we will do season 2. Of course, this is just my personal feelings about the characters, how much I enjoy them. Feel free to disagree and let me know the correct rankings down in the comments below. I really do want to rank every character, but I did leave out characters that didn't have any dialogue, or characters that weren't named, or sometimes characters that did have like one line of dialogue. For instance, the waitress in the cafe where the 4 horsemen meet, or the army human standing outside of the Air Force Base in Tadfield. If a character is in both seasons, but their character development really continues mostly through season 2, they will be included in the season 2 video. An example of this would be like the Archangel Michael. Some other characters that are included in both seasons, but have very drastically different character development in each season, will be included in both videos. An example of this would be Beelzebub. This is nearly 30 characters, so it's a pretty large list. I think I included pretty much everyone that counts. So, let's get started. It's very likely you've seen one of these tier list ranks before. S rank is the highest tier. Those would be superb characters, characters that really exceed all expectations, that you just love this much. A characters are very good characters, excellent, but not quite S tier. B are going to be average characters, well written, characters you enjoy, but maybe they don't have a lot of agency or they have a small part. And then C tier characters are going to be characters that are a little below average, not your favorite characters, you could kind of do without them. D-ranked characters are the ones where when you get to their part of the show, you might fast forward through it or kind of skip it. They're just not your favorite. And of course, again, this is going to vary from person to person. There might be characters that I love that you aren't a big fan of, and vice versa. So anyway, I'll explain as I go why I'm putting them in the rank that I put them in. Let's get started with Adam. This is kind of a tricky one because Adam has a lot of agency. He's very important to the outcome of the plot. He does make his own choice at the end, and it is the outcome of the plot. It's very important. The acting is good. I like the character design. I think it's very sweet also. I really, really like the very, very end with the apple. But is he S tier? Let's see. Would you put him in S tier? I still think Adam is like an A tier character. He's very well written, especially, and very well done for a child character. But he just isn't, like, for me personally, my favorite kind of character. Let's see. Next, we have a smaller part, but still a fun character. This is Thou Shalt Not Commit Adultery Pulsifer. And again, this isn't like a ranking where are they a good person? This is whether we enjoy them as a character. And I think this is a very fun character, despite him being quite horrible, because there's a lot of comedy around it. I also love the costume and character design. I like the fact that it's the same actor who plays Newt. Definitely a character you love to hate because he is burning witches. So I think this is still tricky because it's a pretty small part. So, oh boy, I'm gonna say let's put Thou Shalt Not Commit Adultery in B. He's a well-written character, and I'm glad we got the flashback. All right, next up we have Agnes. Agnes is not in the show herself very much, but she has a pretty important part, I would say. I mean, everything, it's the name of the book, even the subtitle of the novel, of course, is The Nice and Accurate Prophecies of Agnes Nutter. So, love the portrayal, the treatment of witches. I think it's all kind of important. It's important how it affects Anathema at the end. Of course, her prophecy helps save Crowley and Aziraphale. So, I think I am actually, despite her having such a small role, am going to put Agnes in S tier. That's probably going to be a hot take and maybe a little controversial. We'll see if you guys agree or not.
A witch.
So next up we have the American Ambassador and his wife, who's played by Nick Offerman, the American Ambassador. And that alone kind of brings it up for me. I really like Nick Offerman. I don't know if any of you have seen The Last of Us, but the portrayal of the couple in that and the scene with the strawberries, like, breaks my heart. So let's see. I mean, it's, again, a lot of these are small parts. It's kind of almost a cameo. It's funny, but it's not something you'd fast forward. I definitely enjoy the performance, but it's just like still like an average character. And next up we have Anathema. Let's see. I struggle a bit with Anathema. She is a very interesting character. I love her wardrobe. I really want that coat. I'm pretty sure I'm not alone in that. I also have a thing for witches. I really enjoy witches. Is there a witchcraft book? I'm not good at this yet. There it is, right there. So yes, I really do have an affinity for witches and witchcraft. I loved all her little instruments and tools, all the little details surrounding her character. I like the actress. I think she did a good job. I don't know. There's just something I don't love about Anathema for part of the story. Ugh. That makes me feel kind of bad. I don't dislike Anathema. I want to like her more than I actually like her. Does that make any sense? So let's see. I think I'm gonna put Anathema in B tier, but above, so you can do this. So we'll put her above Adultery Pulsifer and the Ambassador though. So, that's going to be a hot take. I think people are going to hate me for that one. But again, let me know down in the comments if you would have preferred Anathema to be up higher. So next up we have Brian. Oh dear. Okay, so I think them have really grown on me as characters. I like them a lot more after reading the book a second time, after enjoying season 1 a few times. But Brian is really kind of a non-character. Like, he's the most generic of them. He's probably the most generic character in season 1. So I'm gonna put Brian. I'm sorry, Brian. I'm gonna put you in C. But yeah, that's where he goes for me. Not a fault of the young actor who did a perfectly good job, just kind of a blandly written character. So next up we have the Chattering Order of St. Beryl, who, okay, that's hilarious. They are some of the funniest. The entire concept is funny. I did put them all in a group. I didn't rank the nuns individually. I think that, okay, so the humor is great. They do serve an important purpose in the story. I love the little cameo they have in season 2 when they're off to the side of the Windmill Theater playing table tennis. So I think I might, no, they can't possibly be S tier. I mean, how much do I enjoy them? So I think I might have to put the nuns in S tier. Is this another hot take? Maybe I'm the worst at this. I'm probably going to get a lot of people disagreeing with me. So next we have Death. Death is a character in Discworld, an actual character in a lot of Terry Pratchett's novels. He's also portrayed as an actual character in some of Neil Gaiman's novels, of course. Plus, of course, he's one of the Four Horsemen, biblically speaking. And I like the portrayal of it. I think the CGI was pretty good. I liked the voice acting. And the scene in the cafe, that's actually pretty clever. There's a lot of Easter eggs around the Death character in just the few scenes you do get him on screen. I also love the end, the Wings of Night, and all of that. So, boy, you probably shouldn't have this many characters in the S tier right away. I don't know if this is another hot take, but yeah, I mean, an important character that we all have to deal with. So I do think Death is an S tier character. Oh, This is too many. I feel bad. This is going to be too many S tier characters. Okay, dog. Is anyone going to kill me if I don't put dog in S tier? Let's see. I love dog. I love dogs in general. And dog is the kind of dog that I also like. Little, sweet little dog. He's not too barky. He's not too obnoxious. They picked a really adorable dog. He does have an actual character arc, and he's kind of important in the story. But he's not quite S tier for me. I do hope we see Dog and Adam again in season 3. But I think I'm going to be putting Dog in the A tier. Just below Adam. That seems right. Yes. Okay. Next up, we have Famine. Most of the Four Horsemen took a little bit to grow on me. Famine's story, it's very relevant to American culture, probably Western culture in general, and our poor eating habits, consumerism, capitalism, all those fun things. So he definitely represents an issue that needs to be confronted in real life. And I think the portrayal was great. I loved the actor's portrayal of it. The food thing, I'm having a hard time. Of the Four Horsemen, I think I like Famine the least. B, C, I'm gonna put him in C tier. So many hot takes. Or maybe just bad takes. I don't know. You guys let me know. So that's where I'm putting him for now, Famine. Next up, we have Beelzebub, the season 1 version only. So when we are thinking about Beelzebub in this version, we're only going to be thinking about all of the actions taken by Beelzebub in season 1, not what happens to them during their season 2 character arc. So they are pretty awful. A lot like Gabriel, they do order it does seem like they are the ones that order the extinction of Crowley. They are not a lovely person, definitely have a lot of problems. And it's sort of hard to separate season 1 from season 2 and how I feel about where they end up. So that's kind of a tricky one. Let's see. I think I'm going to put Beelzebub in B tier for season 1. It might be different for season 2, and this is why some of the characters are going to be in 2 separate videos, because I do feel differently about them where they are on their character arc. By the end of season 1, I liked Beelzebub, and I want to see them again, but I was not the biggest fan, let's just say. So, Gabriel in season 1 was really awful.
Archangel Gabriel.
Aziraphale and Crowley are absolutely right about that. But, the acting. So John Hamm, especially in the scene where he says, I'm the Archangel effing Gabriel, he really, really owns that. It is like 100% not campy, no Hamm in that particular scene, no comedy. I was just telling a friend the other day, it reminds me, it's like a little Godfather kind of a feel about it. So, I mean, the acting nails it because he can do both the very, very serious, like deadly, deadly serious, and also so much comedy just in his facial expressions. It's very subtle. I really like this performance. I like Gabriel in season 1 a lot from the first time you see him when he shows up in the sushi restaurant with Aziraphale right up until the end. Gabriel is also a new character, doesn't exist in the book, and so a character that I think was introduced that's very important. I mean, this is true of all the angels and demons aside from Crowley and Aziraphale, but I really do love John Hamm's portrayal of it in season 1 as well. I mean, the pornography joke is kind of become a meme. There's a lot there to love. So, oh no, I can't possibly put him in S tier. In season 1, I'm going to put him in A. So I'm going to put him in A, and I'm going to put him above Adam. And hopefully I don't get too much hate for all of this. I'm really risking it. Oh, and speaking of getting hate, so here comes a tough one. Where to put God? So you don't really see God, of course. You just hear her. And we know it's played by Frances McDormand. And that alone ups the character for me a lot. I loved the voice acting. And because it's the very first impression you get from the show, right? The very first thing you get is that intro and Frances McDormand's voiceover. And it's very fun and very funny. There's a lot, again, subtle comedy going on. And as the narrator, she's also introducing all the characters to us and letting us know what's going on. And I think, let's see, I think for season 1, and not putting God in S tier is probably some kind of blasphemy somewhere. Let's put God in A tier. I think so. God and dog. Yes, they're right next to each other. Yeah, that seems fair. I think that that's the right spot for God. Next up, we have a demon that a lot of people really love, and that is Hastur. So the actor is Ned Dennehy, and he really leans into the grossness and the camp and the evil of this character. And I appreciate that a great deal. I'm not really digging, the filth and the dirtiness of the costume, but I understand it. I get it, because Hastur and Ligur are both the only two who are really, really evil, who really, really enjoy hurting people. Most of the other demons don't really seem to be that into it. So I understand why they gave him that character design. And I do appreciate the actor's performance. And it does lend a certain feel that you don't really, I don't even know what I'm saying. So where I'm going with this is I appreciate Ned Dennehy's performance, but I'm not sure how much I personally enjoy it. So I'm going to put Hastur in B, below B. Yeah. Yes, I think that seems right for me personally. Next up, we have Leslie, the delivery guy. So you're probably wondering why I have some of these super minor characters in here, but Leslie delivers to war and death and famine and pollution, and also has that lovely moment with the written note with his wife, which I think is actually quite emotional. The acting is also really good, especially considering it's such a small part, but he's all throughout the whole season. So I actually like Leslie. I can't believe I'm going to put Leslie on the same ranking as these other characters. He does probably go at the bottom here. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I should move this up. B's got to go up a little. Above the ambassador. Probably above adultery too. Same with Hastur. Let's move Hastur up here a little bit. There we go. I think that's a little better, yeah. Okay, so next up we have Ligur. And poor Ligur is one of the few, not the only, but one of the few deaths in the show. But Ligur was killed by holy water, and so there's no coming back from that. The manner of his death was pretty gruesome, but it's also understandable that Crowley did that in self-defense. He's got a super cool character design. Ligur's chameleon on the head, and also the color changing, the character design I really like. He's definitely down to be evil. He's got some funny lines in the first episode, but all the same, again, pain. Okay, so, yeah, not my favorite character. I know some people are a big fan of Ligur. I think maybe it has to do with the fact that he's not in it very much. He does get killed off. But, yeah, so Ligur is a C. Now we're on to Madame Tracy, played by Miranda Richardson, is a fantastic character. She took a character off the page and made her really, really shine. I also love the character design, the costume, the hair, the makeup. I love how she's not ashamed of who she is. I love the portrayal of the prostitute medium. She's doing what she does for a living. There is no shame in it. It's just another profession. I love everything about the portrayal of this character. So she's very funny, she's very charming, and she is important also to the outcome of the story, because Aziraphale is able to use her, of course, to get to the Tadfield Air Base, and she does prevent Aziraphale from shooting Adam, so not nothing. I like Madame Tracy a lot. I'm going to put Madame Tracy in A tier. And you know what? I need to go get a drink. Hey there, future me here. At this point in the video, you might have noticed that Crowley and Aziraphale are not on the list or in the images yet to go. But don't worry, I do intend to include them in the Season 2 ranked list and to talk about them at great length. There are far fewer new characters in Season 2, so it will give me more time to discuss everyone's favorite ineffable duo. And now that you're hopefully reassured, back to the video. So the tricky part with Madame Tracy, and all of these characters really, isn't just dropping them in the right tier, but then putting them in the correct spot in the tier. So I think that Madame Tracy, for me personally, is going to go right below the Archangel effing Gabriel. I just love Madame Tracy. She's one of my favorite characters for sure in Season 1. I would say I'd hope to see her again in Season 2, but then I don't know what they're going to do about Shax, who I also want to see in Season 2, since they're both played by the same actress. And while I'm looking at this, see, it makes me realize I want to move Leslie up a little. Because I really like the delivery driver. That's kind of silly. All right, so next up we have Adam's parents. So Mr. and Mrs. Young. I think these characters actually get quite a few lines each. They are pretty important to Adam's character development because it is kind of a nature-nurture thing that's going on in the story. So the fact that he has very normal, very loving parents is very important. And both of his parents are portrayed as very, very average people with flaws. And I like the portrayal of both of them. They also get some funny lines. The mother at the end, so sweet and loving, so relatable as a parent. And all the same. So I'm just going to put so many characters just in B because I don't know what to do with them. They're not a C tier character. They're not like, I don't like them. Maybe here above the ambassador because, I don't know. I think that this is a good spot for them. All right, next up is Newt. All right, this one's going to be, okay, I am not a personal fan of Newt's character. I am kind of annoyed when he's on screen most of the time, right up until the end. I actually start to like his character a little bit by the time he's helping Anathema make the choice to burn Agnes's second prophecy book. Up until then, I just find him kind of annoying, and I don't enjoy the humor that he brings very much to the story. He's just not my favorite. And so he is going to be our first D tier character because I do tend to want to kind of fast forward through the Newt parts of the story. Next, we have the next of the them that comes up here is Pepper. All right. I like Pepper. Pepper's got attitude. I think Pepper, aside from Adam, of course, is my favorite one of the them. So the question is, where exactly do I put her? Let's see. I don't think she's quite S tier character. I think she is A tier. Let's put her like with dog, above dog, next to God. I don't know. Let's see. I'm going to put her just below God here, but she's still definitely an A tier character. Pepper brings the humor, the snark. Cheek. She brings a lot of personality to them, which I think that they need because a group of children actors can become a little grating in some shows. And I think that Pepper and the actress who played Pepper really brought the entire group of them up a notch. So yes, Pepper is an A tier character. Okay, next up we have Pollution. The character design of Pollution is noticeably different than what is described in the book. I like the character design. I like the actress. I do like the change from the traditional Four Horsemen of Pestilence to Pollution. I had just recently been discussing this with somebody, and I think that Pollution actually fits quite well because of the line that says that these are the three things that humanity caused. Pestilence doesn't really fit that bill, but Pollution does. So I do appreciate Pollution, and Pollution has a lot less to do than death or war in the show itself. So I think that Pollution is going to go here. And I don't know why Brian's so high in my C tier, because let's be honest, I gotta fix up my C tier a little bit here. Let's put Ligur at the top of the C tier because he's almost B tier. It's kind of like just barely not quite making it. Yeah, I think that's a better order of ranking there.
Is he though?
And the next character we have is R.P. Tyler, who is the neighborhood watch guy. He's kind of the busybody, the nosy, get off my lawn, grumpy old man of Tadfield, and he's a pretty funny character. I think we've all met somebody like him. They might be in our neighborhood, they might be in our family, but we all know an R.P. Tyler, I think.
Young man, your car is on fire and you're still sitting in it.
So another relatable character as far as interacting with people like this. He's not too terrible. You know, he goes around tattling on Adam, but he does give people directions. He's not a terrible person. He's just not the best. So, and how much do I enjoy his character? It's very funny. I think he's a very funny portrayal of this character. And the actor, again, really leans into it. There's no half-assing this portrayal. I really, really like it. So he's not like an A tier, but he's not a C tier. So he's another B tier character. Next up, we have Sandalphon. Sandalphon is quite the toady / lackey. He's pretty much just a yes man for Gabriel. And, you know, I appreciate Paul Chahid's performance, definitely. Subtle costuming, the smirk, the gold tooth up in heaven. I mean, they did such a great job with these angels. I would love to see Paul Chahidi again in season 3 because I don't think Sandalphon got a lot of character development or a chance to really shine in season 1. So I'm afraid, I know, please don't hurt me, but I'm going to put him in C tier, even though he's funny with the, you know, pornography line, helping Gabriel with that.
Because I am buying
pornography?
That's about it. And we don't get a lot out of Sandalphon. I think there's a lot of room to grow for this character, one way or the other. Maybe he'll end up on the wrong side of Aziraphale, but maybe he'll also actually have a chance to grow and be a better angel. Let's find out. Since it's been hinted at that Paul Chahidi might be back in season 3, we don't know for certain. I think we might have a chance to find out. Okay, next up we have Lucifer, Satan, the father of lies, etc., etc. So, voiced by Benedict Cumberbatch, that helps a bit because, I mean, it's Benedict Cumberbatch. But we don't see a lot of Satan. The CGI is a little wonky. I don't know. This is tricky. He's not in it very much. He basically shows up, kind of tells Adam off a little, and then vanishes again. I kind of debated not even putting him in here, but since I was including God, and he does have more than one line, and he's also kind of important to the story, I did think I should include him, but I'm gonna put Satan, Lucifer, Father of Lies, Morningstar, etc. in C tier. But he doesn't. He's got to go above Brian, right? Okay, so we'll move Lucifer up here-ish, I think. We might have more character development for these characters in season 3 to be more than this one-dimensional sort of character, but we'll find out. Let's see. So then we have Sgt Shadwell. Sgt Shadwell is a really fun character because he's kind of awful and kind of gross, especially from the book perspective, but he really does have a lot of character growth through the entirety of the season.
That's all right, then.
Also, the performance by Michael McKean is absolutely perfect. It's funny, it's charming. Even when he's being awful, he's charming. His accent is all over the place, but that's on purpose. It does follow the book. I love everything about it. It's hard for me not to want to put Shadwell in S tier. I don't know why. I didn't love Shadwell the first time I saw season 1. The first time I saw the show, I didn't love Shadwell that much. But now that I've seen it over and over again, this character has really, really grown on me. So I really, again, this is another character, Michael McKean. There's been a couple of hints that we might see Michael McKean again in season 3. I don't know if we're going to see Sgt Shadwell again in season 3, though. Neil does have a tendency to recast the same actor into a different role, so it could go either way. But anyway, for season 1, I think that there's enough growth there and enough, I mean, he's such a main character. I'm going to put Sgt Shadwell in S tier, but below Death, okay? So, yeah, I think that that's fair. I think it's such a well-written character. I can't believe I'm putting Sgt Shadwell above Madame Tracy and Gabriel. That makes me rethink my whole entire life. My life choices. Okay, maybe not. Okay, maybe here with Madame Tracy. Yeah? There. Does that seem fairer? Yeah, I think that that's better. Oh, I gotta get a grip on myself. I'm getting too excited or something. That is not quite where that goes. All right, so next up we have War. I think aside from Death, War is my favorite of the 4 horsemen. So again, love the portrayal, love the makeup, love the acting, especially at the end there with the hair. So I'm gonna give War a little bit higher ranking than he did for Pollution or Famine. Not C tier. I'm gonna go with a B tier. Let's see, where on the B list? Somewhere around Mr. above Leslie? Right there with Hastur somewhere? Yeah. I think right in here seems about right for War for me. So yeah, okay, there we go. Next up we have Warlock. Okay, this is tricky. Warlock is interesting insofar as that we get to see what happens to a child who is spoiled.
Whatever. They're old and educational. It's dumb.
Yeah, but Warlock's biological parents aren't the big influence on Warlock. The big influence on him growing up and him becoming a selfish, completely self-centered, totally spoiled brat are his parents. The fact that his father is away all the time, the ambassador, his mother, I guess, just gives him everything he wants. We kind of get that impression a little bit with the birthday party. And he's like pretty awful. So again, it's not about whether they're a great character, like if I like them and think they're a good person. But Warlock is pretty intolerable, especially as a child, which is by design on the one hand. So I'm having a hard time with this. But I still think, for me personally, Warlock is like a D tier character, except for the magic show. I do not enjoy any of the time that Warlock is on screen. Oh, and when he's really, really little and says, I'm 5. When he's a little bit older child, nope, not my favorite. So I'm going to put Warlock in D tier. However, if we see Warlock again in season 3, and we do another one of these ranking videos, Warlock does have a chance to grow as a character, hopefully, and become more enjoyable as a character. So anyway, just a thought there. Last but not least, we have Wensleydale, who actually is quite a little cutie. I think he's very charming. I know the joke about nothing but time standing between him and becoming an accountant is pretty funny. And he's definitely more charming and has more personality than Brian. Poor Brian. But he doesn't have as much personality as Pepper, so we're going to stick him right in the middle here, I think. Yeah. I think Brian goes down here somewhere with like Mr. Maybe with the ambassador. Yeah, right there, I think. So there we go, everybody. This is the final ranking and I feel pretty good about it. It's actually a lot harder to make one of these than I figured. There's so much that goes into all of these portrayals, and I understand that different people connect to different things about each of these characters. There's the connections we have to the book and the connections we have to season 2, and those can be a little harder to separate. And whatever it is we find appealing about a character, whether they're funny, whether we want to cosplay as them. So there's a lot put into it. But yeah, I would say that my S tier characters being Agnes, the Chattering Order of St. Beryl, and Death, I still feel pretty good about that. My A tier characters, I feel pretty good about that. Yep. Yeah, so that's my list, everybody. Thanks for showing up for this. This was a lot of fun. I hope within a couple of weeks to be able to do the season 2 version of this. and I hope you come back and watch that. And in the meantime, please do leave your comments down in the comment section below and let me know who you would have put in a different place than I put them and why. I would also like to thank my patrons, who are amazing, amazing people who really do make all of this possible. I can't believe how lucky I am that I get to do this. I really do hope you had fun ranking all the characters. And I really do hope you let me know which characters you would have put in different places. I really am interested in what you have to say. And as always, thanks for watching.